Hey guys, in physiology class, you might have a hard time figuring out the acid-base problems. They are they are very hard if you don't understand, and they are very easy if you understand. So I'm gonna show you easy way to do this today. Okay, so let's start by the definition of the pH. It's a measure of hydrogen ion concentration. Also, it is the negative log of hydrogen ions concentrations. So in chemistry class, we calculate numbers, stuff like that, but in physiology, we don't calculate numbers. Instead, we figure out if we have somebody who is hyperventilating, how will the body react to it, stuff like that. So we don't calculate in physiology. So in chemistry, if they give you the pH number, you just take your calculator, hit negative log, and put the number of the pH in here, and use your parentheses. It will give you the number, and it is easy that way. Okay. So we know the body regulates the blood pH in a strict, in two different two strict numbers right here. It is the blood pH has to be in between these two numbers. If it is more than this, we have alkalosis, too much pH. If it is less than this, we have acidosis, which is way less than its acidosis, which is way less than the blood pH. So we don't want either of this. We have to stay in between this. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So in physiology, you will have something like this in the tests and the quizzes. They will ask you, this person is hyperventilating. What will happen? How will the body react to that? Okay, so if somebody is hyperventilating, that means our CO2 is going down because we are losing too much oxygen and we are not getting enough CO2 back. So CO2 will go down, and when the CO2 goes down, you know the blood pH goes up. These are when it's a ventilation problem, you know the CO2 and the pH are pointing to different ways. They are opposite to each other. So if the CO2 drops, pH goes up. Okay, and easy way to figure this out is if they ask you if this is when you figure out what will happen, how the body will react to it, they will also might ask, is this acidosis or alkalosis problem, or metabolic alkalosis or metabolic acidosis, stuff like that. And easy way to figure this out is look at the CO2 and the pH, like where they are pointing to it. If these points are pointing to a different directions, CO2 is going down this time, and pH is going up that over there. If they are pointing to different directions, it is automatically respiratory problem. You know it's a respiratory if CO2 and pH are pointing to different directions. Okay, so now we know it's a respiratory problem. What kind of respiratory is it? Is it acidosis or alkalosis? Okay, we need to see this. Where is this pointing? It's going up, so it is high ventilation, so it is alkalosis. It's alkalosis problem. If this was going down, it will be acidosis. So it is respiratory alkalosis. Respiratory alkalosis. It's respiratory alkalosis. So you just remember, just look at the pH and the CO2. Where are they pointing to? If they are pointing to different directions, it's respiratory problem. And then you look at the first problem you had right here, and if that is going up, it's alkalosis. If it goes down, it's acidosis. Okay, next problem here. This is going down, So it is, you know, it is acidosis, and this is going up, and this is going down. So they are opposite to each other. So what is it? It's not metabolic. It is it's respiratory. So it's respiratory acidosis. Acidosis. Respiratory acidosis. So just remember, if the CO2 and pH are pointing to different directions, it is a respiratory problem. And then you look at the first arrows here, and where are they pointing to? If it is going up, it's alkalosis. If it is going down, it's acidosis. Okay, let's do some metabolic problems. Okay, now we are starting with the pH. Before we were starting with breathing, ventilation. Now we are starting with the pH. So it will be different thing right here. So lower pH is causing high ventilation, and when high ventilation we have high breathing, the CO2 will always go down. When you breathe too much, you lose a lot of CO2. Let's say someone gets excited when they get their present, and they are losing a lot of CO2 and have a lot of oxygen in their body. So their pH will go down also when you have high ventilation, because this will cause this. They are always opposite. So okay, now remember what I told you. If the look at the CO2 and the pH, where are they pointing to? Remember the ventilation problems, the respiratory problems, they had pointing to different directions. Now they are pointing to same directions. You see pH and the CO2, when they are pointing to same direction, they are metabolic problem. Before we have respiratory, now they are metabolic. Okay, so what kind of metabolic is it? Okay, so we have a low pH, so it is metabolic acidosis. When you want to figure out the what kind of problem is it, if it's alkalosis and or acidosis, just look at the first where the problem started with. So it is a metabolic acidosis. Acidosis. Okay, next one. Remember, just look at the pH and the CO2. Before they were going down both, now they are both going up. So what did I tell you? If they are both going up, what kind of problem is it? Metabolic, because they are not opposite to each other. And what kind of metabolic is it? Just look at the first look at the where it started with. The pH is going up, and that is alkalosis. So it's metabolic alkalosis. Huh? Did you understand what I'm saying? Just look at first, when you get a problem like this, look at the arrows or CO2 on the pH. If they are both going down or both going up, they are metabolic problem. If they are pointing to different directions, they are respiratory problem. And if you want to figure out if it's acidosis or alkalosis, look at the first arrows where they are pointing to. If it is going down, it is acidosis. If it is going up, it's alkalosis. I hope that helped. Good luck with your physiology class. Bye bye.